Richer zero ground. I bring you a second beat today. And to really understand the richer ground, let's take a look at what superposition means in how the computers work. In classical computers, everything is built on something brutally simple. 0 and 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, off and on, false and true. But in this case, it just goes for the computers. For a human being, 0 is not false at all. And we'll get to it in a second. A computer doesn't feel those numbers. It just holds values. They are called values. And what you do with them is called functions. Holds values, runs functions. But the moment computing grew powerful, engineers discovered something. If you force a choice too fast, you lose possibilities. Too fast of a choice, possibilities lost. So they learned to hold a superposition, a state where several possibilities coexist without being forced into one answer yet. Not chaos, not confusion, discipline. As a human beings, we also say someone holding the space for us. And actually, the richer your zero ground is, the more you have those possibilities, but you are not collapsing a function. The machine waits, it doesn't panic, it doesn't rush to decide. It keeps the field open until the right operation can be applied. And this is where it stops being about computers. Let's look at a human being. And I don't mean the successful human being, not the spiritual one, not the one who has support. I want to talk about a human being who already lost everything. Money gone, relationships gone, health shaken, identity shattered. This is the moment where most people collapse. Why? Because the values inside them spike that are not friendly for them. The values inside them spike, the ones that are of pain, fear, grief. And all the functions collapse. I'm remembering one of these fairy tales from my childhood, when a girl gets some water in a pot from a river, and she has to bring a whole pot of water, but there is a hole at the bottom of the pot, and the water keeps dripping out, and then she has to go back to the river again. And so it's kind of like in the same way, a human being and all of the good values, they disappeared because you actually need to put effort into it to gather your good values and give them space and hold them and know that you have a variety of functions with those values instead of allowing those crushing values to totally collapse you into only one function when your system says it's over, it's over. But that's not a fact. It's one function that hijacked the whole system. Richer zero ground is what remains when nothing is left to hold onto, and the field is still open. Zero doesn't mean emptiness. Zero means potential, not yet collapsed. a human in richer zero still has pain as a value, fear as a value, grief as a value. But something crucial hasn't been lost: the ability not to force meaning too soon. And that is a superposition in a human being. When someone says, I have nothing left, the deeper truth is, I have no meaning left that I can trust. Richer zero says, then do not choose one yet. Do not decide who you are. Do not decide what this means. Do not decide whether this is the end. Hold the field. Because the moment even one function becomes available, regulate instead of panic, observe instead of judge, breathe instead of collapse, the world reopens. Same values, different function, different future. Change the function, and the world becomes a different world.